All right, today let's talk about chord inversions. Chord inversions are really fancy and really amazing things that you can do. First off, let's just talk about chords in general. Let's say I got a C chord, and the C chord has C, E, G. Like I talked about in another video. Those are the notes of a triad. Is C, E, G, and they are written out there. Now, in root position, in the closest position that it is, the tonic, the root note's on the bottom. Now, I can have it where I move that note to there, and now the third of the chord, because I got a 1, let me write with number 1, 2, 5 there, of the chord there. So now that becomes what they call first inversion. And if I do this here, if I put that, and that on top, now this is second inversion. So that's first inversion, and this is second inversion. And if I do that one more time, I go back to root position again. So that's the basic ways of taking a triad and changing it around a little bit. And you get a different sound from it with a different inversion of it. The root one sounds really solid. The first inversion sounds a little bit, it's not quite as solid as that. And then the second inversion sounds a little bit, I won't call it unstable, but a little more unstable-ish to get to the tonic, to the home root position of the chord that's there. Now, if I write it out in 4-part harmony, let's look at that a little bit. So again, I'm going to stay in the key of C for right now. And I'll write it out as okay, there's root position. And we will label that, if we're in the key of C, we'll label that as 1. Really what it is, if I go through and analyze it, we just call this 1, without anything written out to the side of it, we call that root position. But really what it is I got a 5th there, right? I got a 3rd, and I got an octave. So if I really get down to it, the numbers that I could put out to the side of it would be a 1, 3, 5 chord, or this a 5, 3 chord. Okay, and if I guess if a 1, 2, I could put an 8 there as well, potentially. But we just understand when we see a chord of root position that this is going to be in root position. So let's do the 1 in first inversion. Let's see there. Okay. So we would call this a 1, 6. But really, what is this? I've got a 3rd, I've got a 6, and I got an octave or a 1. So really what this really is a 6, 3, 1 chord. Well, we shortcut it, get rid of these two, get rid of this here, and just call it a 6. And just like we shortcut it, get rid of that there, and just call it a 1. Now let's do the second inversion. So from G there, C, E, and usually I double the 5th in second inversion. And so what that basically is here is I got a 4th, and we call this a 6-4. Got a 4th and a 6th. Okay, and that's why it's called a 6-4 chord. Well, let's say that we want to do this with let's just say a 4, 6, 4. All right. So what would be the second inversion note in F? Well, F is F, A, C. So the first one, root position is going to be F. The first inversion is going to be A, and the second inversion is going to be C. So I know I got to write a C there. So if I know 6, 4 there, these numbers tell me what I need to do. So what is 6 away from C? That would be A. What is 4 away from C? Well, that would be F. So there is a 4, 6, 4 chord written out there by using these numbers here. Let's do another one. Let's do, whoops, don't write that out first. Let's do a 5, 6. So 6 tells me it's in first inversion. And G, B, D. So root position is going to be G. First inversion is going to be B. Second inversion is going to be D. So I'm going to put down B because this is first inversion. And again, what was the full length on there? It was really 6-3, so I'll put that there just for fun. So what's 6 away from that? That's G. And what's 3 away from it? That's D. There we go. That's what those numbers mean when you go out and you see those numbers, is that you take the bottom note and you count up 6, you count up 4, you count up 3, and that helps you figure out the chord. So even if you don't know the chords instantaneously, you know, I've been doing this for a long time, so I can look at it and bam, know it automatically. You can still figure out what they are by just doing that. Okay? So that's chord inversions, and with a Roman numeral analysis as well. And as always, rock and roll.